Do you have an aversion to asking for help? I think that for a lot of us, when we encounter somebody that doesn't ask for help, or when we don't ask for help, we automatically assume that it's because, oh, I want to do it by myself, or, oh, I want to prove to somebody that I want to do it by myself, and that I can manage it, I can handle it, right? We want to prove to somebody or to ourselves that we're strong enough. And for the longest time, I assumed that that was why I did not ask for help. That I refused to ask people for help because I just wanted to prove that I was strong enough. And recently, it has been brought to my attention that that is not entirely the case. That yes, there have been moments in my life where I did truly want to prove to myself or to somebody else that I could do something on my own, that I didn't need help with something. And I think that there's a time and a place for that. Obviously, when you become a more independent individual, when you become an adult and you're supposed to be more independent, it's sort of a process of proving, yeah, I can fly on my own. I don't need help all the time. We're humans and everybody needs help. Nobody has all of the skills and all of the knowledge and all the tools and resources that they need to do something on their own. Nobody is self-made. Nobody is an island. Nobody can get anywhere as an island. Let's put it that way. There are people out there, and I realize that I had made myself this way. There are people out there that are islands, that are by themselves, that have isolated themselves, that refuse help, that don't ask for help. And they don't get very far, right? We don't get very far when we don't ask for help. And I recently discovered why I do that, why I refused to ask for help for so long. And I think that it is actually pretty relatable to most of us, that most of us have this underlying feeling and this underlying belief that causes us to not ask for help. For me, and comment down below if this is the same for you, if you feel the same way. For me, I was not asking for help because I felt like I was a bother in some fashion. Either there was this feeling of, if I ask for help, they're going to be upset, they're going to be stressed, they're not going to want to help me, they're going to be moody because, oh, I have to help her. And so I won't ask them because I don't want them to be annoyed with me. I don't want them to be bothered by me. Or I wouldn't ask for help because I thought my helping me is a bother, and so nobody will anyways. Okay, and this could be for anything. This could be for something as simple as, oh, can you help me fix this thing on my car or on my computer? Or it could be something as simple as, oh, I want to start this new business, and so I'm going to start a page on Facebook and ask my friends on Facebook to follow that page. I wouldn't want to do any of that because in my mind, I thought, number one, I'm a bother. It is an inconvenience to help me. It is annoying to help me. And number two, nobody wants to. Nobody wants to help me anyways. And so my aversion to asking for help, at the core of it, it was not at all from this place of, I want to do it by myself. I've realized recently, I actually want help. I actually desperately want somebody to say, can I help you? Like, that is something that I've wanted for a really long time in different areas of my life, that I have wanted people so desperately to say, well, hey, I can help you with that. Oh, you're doing this little freelance job. I actually have some people that really need your help. Let me send them your way. Or, this YouTube channel. I really like your YouTube channel. Let me share it with my friends. I have this advice. I have this connection, this network of people. That more than anything in the world, I have wanted somebody to do that for me. I have wanted somebody to help me. I think that in the past, I have refused help. I have refused help in the past because, once again, I thought it's just like, they're going to be annoyed with me. They're not going to, number one, perhaps in my mind, I didn't want the exact thing that they were offering, and so I refused their help. But then number two, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, if they start helping me, it's just going to be a pain in their neck, and then they're going to stop, and they're not going to like me, and they're going to, I'm going to fail, and they're going to be annoyed, and then, I just wrote this story for myself. I wrote this story of, this is what's going to happen, this is how they're going to feel, and it's just going to be a disaster. And it's going to leave me feeling really bad about myself. It's going to leave me feeling like I let them down, I annoyed them, and they're never going to help me again. They think I'm stupid. They think what I'm doing is stupid. They don't want to help me. Is that something that you feel? Do you feel that way? Have you felt this underlying belief that helping you is just a pain in the butt, that it's just an inconvenience to help you? Do you believe that about yourself? Do you believe that about yourself? And I really wanted to sort of offer how I am getting through this belief, and also where this belief came from me. So let's just start with that. Let's start with where this belief came from for me, because I personally believe that, where this thought pattern comes from was actually from a place that was very healthy. So growing up, I had terrible temper tantrums when I was a kid. I would throw terrible temper tantrums. I was angry. I was easily, I'm a highly sensitive person. And so things would bother me, right? If things got too loud, if I had tags that itched me, if things were bright, I just got overwhelmed, and it made me mad. And I just got so bothered so easily, and I would become very angry. I think that this thought pattern of nobody wants to help me came from that my parents were trying to help me how to cope, help me learn how to cope. They were trying to teach me how to cope on my own, learning these different ways to say, okay, you know what, I'm feeling this way, I need to do this, right? That I don't need people to cater to me, but that I would learn coping mechanisms, because I'm a highly sensitive person, and that's just the way it is, and it's not a bad thing, but I need to learn how to exist in the world. And so number one, this learning how to cope with myself, I sort of, I am 100% a believer that 90% of our subconscious beliefs in our belief system, it comes from these childhood illusions and perceptions, that we are under the illusion that our parents did this, so that must mean this, okay? I have the best parents in the world, and they taught me how to cope on my own, and how to take care of myself, and how to, manage my feelings and manage my aggravations, we're going to say. They taught me how to cope with the things that I struggle with. And in my childhood brain, them teaching me how to cope on my own told me they don't want to help me. They did want to help me. They were helping me, right? They were helping me. But in my childhood brain, I believed that, they're teaching me how to cope on my own because they don't want to help me. I'm a pain in the ass, basically, and they don't want to help me. They want me to figure it out on my own. You need to figure it out on your own. And the truth is that, yeah, I do need to figure it out on my own, right? I'm an adult now, so I do need to figure it out on my own. They never said that I could not ask for help. They never said, you're alone in this. They never said, nobody wants to help you. That's never what they said. They said, you need to figure out how to cope. And perhaps part of coping, part of figuring it out, is requesting help. Perhaps part of coping is, hey, can I just have this space over here, or can I, right? Perhaps coping includes and involves asking for help. But in my mind, as a kid, as a 5 or 6 year old, I thought, they don't want to help me. They don't want to help me. And so it was an illusion. It's an illusion. It's a twisted belief That was not truth. And the second thing that I really think has also really fed into this belief system that nobody wants to help me and that I'm a bother to help is that, like I said just a moment ago, I had terrible temper tantrums. Terrible temper tantrums. I mean, I would just get so angry and want to throw things and want to just throw this fit. Just mean. I could just be so mean. And my mom, on a number of occasions, and once again, I applaud her. I applaud what she made me do and what she told me to do. She would tell me, you need to go to the other room because you are allowed to be mad. You are allowed to be mad. But my mom told me, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to watch you be mad. I don't want to listen to you be mad. I don't want to watch your temper tantrum. Nobody around you needs to watch you throw your fit. You need to figure out, once again, how to maintain, how to control your temper. And nobody needs to be an audience to your tantrum. Nobody wants to watch it. It's unbearable to watch you throw your temper tantrum. So you need to go, right? Go to your room and figure it out. And you can come out once everything is all good. So once again, I applaud that response, okay? Because as an adult now, when I see people throwing a temper tantrum, I am intolerant of it. I look at it and I think, grow up. Grow up. Like, go to your room. That is what I automatically think. Go to your room and figure this out because I don't want to watch it. You're an adult. You need to figure out how to manage your temper. That's what registers in my mind right now, right? But once again, as a kid, what I heard was my mom, my parents, nobody wants to help me. I'm alone. Me and me alone. I am the only one who can help myself. I am the only one that can do anything about my life. And I think that, yes, that is true, is that I am a firm believer that I have 100% control and power over my life. Like, my decisions, I am ready to bear the consequences of those. In my mind, I was not allowed to ask for help. Once again, my mother did not tell me that I could not ask for help. My mother did not tell me that I was all alone. She told me that she did not want to watch my temper tantrum. That is what she told me. And that is a good thing that she told me that. But in my mind, I twisted it as a kid to mean that I was all alone and that there was nobody that was going to help me. There was nobody available, that nobody wanted to basically help me deal. That there was nobody that wanted to help me deal. As a young adult now, both of those scripts, I'm going to say, have translated into me, number one, refusing help when people offer it to me, and number two, I will by no means ask for help. And I was telling a friend of mine recently that, and she was like, yes, I am the same exact way, is that if I ask for help, I expect to have to pay for it. I expect to have to give something back in return. Like, I do not believe there is nothing in my body, there is nothing in my bones, there is nothing in my head that tells me that people will willingly help me. That people will, out of the goodness of their heart, out of the kindness of their heart, out of their desire to give me a hand, in my mind, there is nobody in the world that will help me out of that place. In my mind, in order for me to receive help, I have to pay them in some kind of way, whether that's financially, whether that's I do something equally as helpful in return. That there is nobody that just generously gives to me. That is what I think in my mind. A lot of times I don't ask for help because I think, well, I don't have the money to ask for help. Right? If I ask them for help, I have to pay for them. I have to pay them. I have to pay them for their help. I have to give them something for their help. And so if I ask for help, it takes everything in me to do it. And more times than not, I will not ask for help because I don't want to be a bother, and I don't believe I have the means to pay them back. And so how am I working through this? How am I working through this? Because like I said, number one, I believe that I was raised very well, okay? I have coping mechanisms now. I do not throw temper tantrums now. I matured at a very young age. I was able to manage my emotions and manage my feelings and cope from a very young age simply because my parents told me, you got to figure this out. That's like literally, that's all that you got to figure this out. So how do I cope though with the twisted belief that came from good parenting basically? How do I work with the twisted belief that my childhood brain created? How do I work with that? How do I change that? I think it's pretty obvious that I need to start asking for help, okay? I need to start asking for help. And if you are struggling with this same exact thing, you need to start asking for help. You need to, and it could be in the smallest things, okay? It could be in the smallest things like, hey, can so-and-so help me move furniture? Or, hey, do you know how to do this or that? Or, whatever it is, you need to start asking for help. You need to be going to somebody that loves you, that cares for you, that cares about you in some fashion, and saying, hey, can you help me with this? Like, you got the brains, you have the means, you have the resources, you have the network. Can you help me with this? Do you have anybody in your life that, right? Like, how can you help me? Can you help me? Requesting help. And number two, the second thing that I've really been working on is realizing that my needs are not a bother. Because I think that has been at the core of so many of my issues. It's not even been something where my wants are a bother. It is my needs, my basic needs, right? I need to make money. I need a job. I need help with this, right? Like whatever it is, my needs are not a bother. It is not a bother for me to need something because humans need something. Humans need things all the time. It's not a bother to need something, right? To need more money, that is not a bother. That is not a bother. And if people act like it's a bother, then that's on them. That is on them completely if they act like it's a bother for you to need more. And I came to this realization because, I was sort of journaling about it and I realized that it's like there are people that request and require far more than what they need, and they get it. People comply. If you ask for it, most of the time people comply with it. They comply with some version of it that you are okay with. Once again, number one, you have to start getting into the rhythm and the habit of requesting help, of asking help from somebody. And number two, you have to realize that what you need is not a bother. It is not an inconvenience. It is not inconvenient for you to need something, whatever that is. It is not inconvenient for you to need something. And so I encourage you to ask yourself and to start getting into that habit and into the practice of, okay, what do I need help with? Like, what do I need help with? What do I need in my life, right? Do you need to get a new job? Do you need help finding a new job? Would you love, do you have somebody in your life that has just the biggest, most elaborate network of people that would gladly give you a job, and you're just refusing to ask for help because in your mind, it is a pain in the butt for you to ask for help. It's a pain in the butt for them to send an email to somebody and say, hey, do you got anything open? Do you love your job? But there's something at work that it's like, okay, this needs to change, but you just refuse to request the change from your boss, but the change is completely plausible. The change is completely like, yes, this needs to happen. The change needs to be made, but you're just afraid to ask, and you just refuse to ask for help. You refuse to have your needs met because in your mind, your needs are a pain in the butt. What in your life do you need to ask? And I mean, if you struggle with asking for help, then I'm assuming that this concept is going to be easy for you. If they say no, then they say no. But I would not automatically assume that the answer is no, because that's what I struggle with. I mean, this whole video, this whole topic is something I struggle with. Like I said, like, this has been a recent discovery of mine. If they say no, then the answer is no. Or if they say, I can do a version of that, right? I can't do the full-fledged of what you are requesting, but I can do a version of it, then okay. But again, do not assume that the answer is no, because that's why you're not asking for help in the first place. Because you're assuming that the answer is either no, or the answer is, well, sure, but it's going to be right, but I'm going to have a bad attitude about it. That's what you're assuming. And I'd also put into mind, like, asking the right people, because there are always going to be those people in your life that you ask for help, and it really is a royal pain in their ass, okay? I mean, there's just going to be those people in the world that they make everything seem like you are just taking up my time. This is, like, I don't want to do this. This is inconvenient. You're inconvenient. There's always those people that are going to make you feel that way. Don't ask them. Ask somebody that it's like, yeah, I know that they want to help me. Or I know that they like to help people. Or I know that they're always going to have a good attitude. And perhaps it is scary. Perhaps it is uncomfortable. And perhaps there's a small part of you that thinks that when you ask for help, that they're going to be like, really? You want me to help you? But ask anyways. Ask the right people. Ask the people that you somewhat trust. Ask them. And, you know, I'm going to find people to ask help for. I'm going to ask, I'm going to look for people and find people that I can ask for help from. And I hope that you will do the same. So if this is a topic that you are struggling with, then I encourage you to comment down below. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that really struggle with this because there's been something in their life, good or bad, that they've been told, right? Like for me, it was all good stuff that I was being told, but I twisted it up. Tell us, right? Invest in the community and stir up the community. Share what it is that you're struggling with to ask help for, or what you sort of think this aversion to asking for help comes from. Because I'm sure that there's a lot more people out there than you think that there are that would relate to you and that really can say, yes, that is precisely what I struggle with. So I would highly encourage you to just share that in the chat below and get involved. And yeah, I would love to hear from you as well. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below in order to stay in the loop with my future uploads. I love you oh so very much. And until next time, so long.